Welcome to your training video for the MQB 12. And basically this board just plugs in to an AC outlet. That's all you need is a regular AC outlet. Up to 10 amps is the max that will draw. So to get started, we just plug this in. And then the main power button is on the bottom left here. And this gives power to the board. And then to bring each station up, there's a power button that starts the processor to display the program. So we will power this up. It comes up rather quickly, boots up fast. The Tesco logo. And goes through its routine. And now it's ready to go. So you have automatically controlled sockets. There's actually two boards in one here. This control point controls these three sockets. This control point controls these three. They can be in separate, different functions. You can do a disconnect test here, be running a regular Form 9 here, but all three meters here have to be the same, all three meters here be the same, but they can be different from each other. So in here I'm going to set up a Form 2, and I'll show you how the socket works. There's automatic detection in here, so you can open and close it manually if you choose. Now it's closed, and I press the button again, it'll open, but it will also close it automatically once you insert the meter. So when I insert Form 2 here, press it closed, you'll see the light will come on and blink, and now it's inserted. So we have a Form 2 in there. It's very easy to select the form. We have a bunch of preset parameters for Form 2. So if you press Form 2, it comes up, it'll pre-program it for 240 volts and 30 amps, which is what normally you use for Form 2. In order to power on, there's a power on button here. You also have a disconnect test, and you have the PC information here. So to power this meter on, here we go, we have the meter powered up. It has 240 volts and it has 30 amps, and it is moving forward. You also have some options whether to change the direction. If you want to change direction, press the direction button here, scroll down to reverse, power on, now you'd be going reversed. If you want to change the voltage or the current, you can also do that. If you want to put the current in at 5 amps, current, press 5, power on, now you have 5 amps. And we have them going in the reverse direction now, but let's change that and say direction back and forward. Now if you want to actually change the phase angle, if you want to run it at a power factor, these two direction arrows scroll the field that it's going to be changed. So if I want to go to power factor degrees, you can see it'll scroll through all the different settings. And you can do degrees, you just type in 60 for a power factor. Now you're running 60-degree power factor. You can also set power factor a different way. You can set this back to 0. You can set power factor by going into the power factor screen and doing 0.5. And that will select the power factor also. So you see 0.5 and 60 degrees, they agree. So one of the other things you certainly want to do with this is to do disconnect testing. So when you're in a form that does disconnect, which is 1, 2, and 12, you'll get the option of going to disconnect here. So, and with disconnect, it'll always be 240 volts on Form 2. You can also do Form 1 and Form 12 in its normal configuration. So I'll run a quick disconnect test here. Turn it on. This meter has its jaws closed, so the disconnect display area comes up, notifying it's in disconnect test, and jaw 2 and jaw 4 are both connected. So if we're going to run a disconnect test, we will want to have a PC with its, here we have Landis & Gear. So I have Landis & Gear 1132 column here, and I'm going to connect this to this meter. Service disconnect. And comes in the disconnect screen, and from here you can see that the voltage is there, the voltage is on the low side, the switch is closed as it reads here. Now you can also put current on in this screen, so if you just hit the current, type in 30, there's an enable current here. You click that on, now you have 30 amps on the meter, as it shows on the screen. So if you want to open the disconnect, we can see these two jaw 2 and jaw 4 are hot right now. When we open the disconnect, it shuts off the current amplifiers and displays the jaw 2 and jaw 4 are now not hot. And if you look on the display here, you can see that the switch is open and you have no back voltage. If you want to apply a back voltage, there's a button here. These little fields are show what the function of the F1, F2, F3, and F4 keys are. So above F3 it says enable back voltage. When we turn that on, you'll see jaw 2 will go hot. So, and if we refresh, we can see that there's now a live back voltage on there. So if they try to close the disconnect switch with the back voltage on, it'll say command rejected, back voltage present. So in order to clear that and be able to operate the switch, we will disable the back voltage now. You'll see the light will go out. And if we refresh, we'll see that the voltage is no longer there. And then you'll be able to reclose the switch. Now the switch is closed, both your jaw 2 and jaw 4 are hot, and it would say that this is a good disconnect switch. And so you can do that in any of the sockets. Each of the sockets has its own disconnect function. You can do one at a time, but you can do it in any socket. So if you loaded 3, you would do this one, and this one, and each socket. So that's our disconnect function, and we also, if you start this one up, you can be running a disconnect in this one, and you could be running some other meter over here, which I happen to have a Form 9 in there. And so when it comes up, I'll show you. Okay, it's ready, Form 9, and it comes up with its preset parameters, 120, 2.5. If you have a 277 volt, you can just press voltage, change it. When it comes up in the transformer rated setting, press power on. And now this is a phase only, it's a single phase board, and we power up only the A phase. The function of these bypasses is you have to have, you can do 3 meters, or if you do 1, you need to have the bypasses. First of all, to make the socket safe, and second of all, to shunt, because there's one current source that goes through all 3. So if you open a disconnect on this socket, the current will go off of the other 2. So that's the way it works, because you only have one current source, and so you need to have these sockets occupied with either a meter of the same form or the bypasses that we supply. And that's pretty much it.